Hi, guys, once again. This particular segment is going to talk about disabilities in terms of the challenges that people face with disabilities, uh, especially with regard to employment and education, and really just kind of the different barriers that they face uh, and so yeah, let's go ahead and just get started. Some of the things that people with disabilities have to deal with in their lives, and again, I could talk about this all day long, but I don't want to drive my viewers away. So this is just kind of in summation, I guess you could say. I've broken it down here. So in terms of accessibility, accessibility is a term used to describe the degree to which a product, service, or environment is available to as many people as possible. Okay, so that's what accessibility is. And various types of accessibility would include basically access to information, which could include education, transportation, buildings, and healthcare. Those are the major groups when we think about providing accessibility. And this is accessibility is a big it's the biggest challenge. Uh, Next to society in and of itself, people with disabilities, that's our biggest challenge uh, that I've ever faced, and that I've talked with many other people. That it's attitudes, it's society, it's overcoming stereotypes, those kinds of things, social situations. It's really those things that make up um, the biggest challenges that we face. So educational opportunities, well, they're definitely lacking. Um, when we think about uh, in the United States, uh, and this is less than a high school education, this is the percentages. So 19.4 people with a disability, 19.4% um, have less than a high school education. Um, People that don't have a disability, that makes up only 9.5% of the total. Um, so, and then again, you see the Washington statistics there: 13.4% with a disability, 7.3 without a disability. So, really, what this slide is saying is that um, people with disabilities often don't get afforded the same opportunities for education, um, and especially in its complete sense of, um, that high school diploma, 12 years of education. Um, it's very, very disproportional, as you can see here. So when I was the age of 5 and I was all ready to go to kindergarten, I put my Oshkosh overalls on and got my Sesame Street lunch pail, and I was excited to go to school with all of my peers. Unfortunately, when we arrived at the school, the principal refused to let me go there because he said, quote, "There is no way you could be successful in a public school." Well, of course, my mother fought against this and she won. And I was able to go to school along with all of my other peers, disabled and not. Um, I think I did pretty well in school overall. I graduated from high school. I went to college and actually got 2 college degrees. Well, actually, I guess it's 3 because I got my bachelor's in computers, and then I got 2 different master's degrees in education, and I'm actually have done my doctorate work as well in educational leadership. Um, so I'm still trying to get that done. Um, and this is just one example that I've drawn from my life, being told that I couldn't do something. And from that, I've kind of created this mantra that I tell young people all the time, is that you should never let anyone tell you what you can or cannot do. That's up to you to figure out for yourself. There's plenty of people that are going to tell you when you want to do something. They're going to tell you you're too tall, you're too short, you're too fat, you're too skinny, you're slow, you're not smart enough. But if we listen to that, we won't achieve anything. So you really just need to try things for yourself, whether you have a disability or not, and figure it out for yourself if it's something that you're able to do. And when I think about when I say, can you do it? Are you successful? It kind of comes down to um, what it is you wanted to get out of it, and that if you had fun, for example, if it's sports, if you're having fun, and it's you're doing it to the level that you're having fun with it, that's great. To me, that's success. I tell kids, I tell people all the time, I like to play basketball. I like to shoot hoops. Now, it's going to look a lot different when I do it on a basketball court because I'm in a wheelchair, but nevertheless, I can do it and it is fun. So, yeah. So again, you can't let anyone tell you what you can or cannot do. It's up to you to figure out for yourself. So let's talk a little bit about employment for people with disabilities and the challenges that uh, people face in that regard, because it's pretty staggering. The unemployment rate of people with disabilities is over 80% in some countries. We have talked a lot about the unemployment rate here in the United States over the last couple of years. Because of COVID, it's kind of skyrocketed. A lot of people out of jobs and such. But if we just look at employment for here in the United States, 16 years and older, people without a disability, the unemployment rate is at 5.1%. People that have a disability, the unemployment rate is double that at 10.1%. What this says is that youth with disabilities are more likely to live in poverty, even in developed countries such as the United States. Currently, there is an estimated 228,000 people with intellectual or developmental disabilities and other significant disabilities who do work, but they do it for below minimum wage. Um, and I think what we see there is there's companies that will hire people with disabilities and feel good about it, um, but they also are taking advantage of it, knowing that um, they're able to pay these people um, a lower wage, and that I feel like that really does them a disservice. It's great that we give people opportunities to work, but they should be treated fairly and treated and paid accordingly. So yeah, so that's some information about um, some of the challenges that people face who have disabilities. Uh, we saw some education numbers and some employment numbers, particularly with youth. And there's a lot that can be done to improve um, these things. And it's one of those, you feel like we've come a long way over the years, providing employment and education for people. And But at the same time, uh, it's still falling way short. There are laws, a couple of key laws that have helped. So in the next segment, we're going to talk a little bit about that, those laws and the impact they've had, because that they've certainly helped. Again, we have a long way to go, but you'll see with these laws uh, that they've paved the way for education and for jobs and other ways, and to remove barriers for people. So make sure you go and check out those. Thanks, guys.